Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of the Gentleman's Club. Today we're going to be talking about handling conflict, basically conflict resolution. Okay, and I know this is a very hard thing, for a lot of guys too, for a lot of men, because it's like that aggression be aggressioning, that testosterone be kicking in, that you just want to win every single argument because that's what it means to be a man, to be very egotistic. Sure, I'm being sarcastic. Okay, so we got to be able to reframe conflict, especially when dealing with resolution of conflict. You got to be able to know that conflict isn't an issue. It's not a problem. You're always going to run into conflict because you're a flawed human being who is the epitome of grace, or this supremely divine being. Okay, you're living a human experience. Okay, so conflict, you cannot be conflict averse. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, you have to realize that it is not something that you are immune to. You know what I'm saying? So avoiding conflict can create resentment. It's a very key point right there, because it's like on your part and also on the victimized person's part, there's always going to be that element of resentment when you just skip over things. It's like, have you ever like encountered those type of people that is like, you're like, dude, like you're so passive, and it's like not even a good kind of passive, to where it's like you're just simply trying to avoid conflict for larger, better, good reasons, but simply because it's like connected to your egotistic side. So avoiding conflict in that dimension can cause a lot of resentment and hurts relationships. Like we see this all the time, like in Hollywood marriages, especially, not to use them as scapegoats because that is happening even with regular people. But it's like we got to be able to not sidestep issues as men, right? We run to the conflict and handle it as grown men, mature, and with understanding. So if you're a young man or even a lady looking at this, right, you got to embrace a mature perspective of knowing that how can I handle this conflict in a very healthy way that is amicable, right? And sometimes, like, handling conflict doesn't always have to look like, Gandhi is like, oh, I'm super peaceful. Da, 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 da. Sometimes you have to, embrace what it means to be, what has to be done in a moment, because the end result is always bigger than simply just the approach. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying crash out. The young boys try to say that like I'm crashing out. Nah, I'm saying it's always going to look different, and you have to be able to seek the best possible outcome, not just for yourself, but also for the other person, right? And that's why interventions happen. You've seen like interventions in families and how they, navigate addiction, right? I'm willing for the best of this person, I'm willing to tell you what needs to be done. Like, this is affecting your life. This is affecting your life. You know what I'm saying? So handle conflict, treat conflict the same way. It's going to be super beneficial for your relationships and your evolution as a person. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, just regulate before you respond. Regulate before you respond. Like, and you know how we talked about the testosterone, guys, like, be able to think before you actually make a decision. Don't just approach conflict without thought. Because I know a lot of dudes, men's natural response, a lot of times is to snap or to be quick to rush to a decision. So like, think through the ramifications of how you're going to navigate conflict, and that's really going to help you know what the best possible decision is. Every decision isn't instantaneous in nature, right? the ability to think through your words, think through your actions is really going to play out in terms of play out into your interrelational dynamics. So I love you guys. This has been another episode of the Gentleman's Club. Keep it locked.